you've been very active all through your life, really, as far as reading, studying, publishing, and so forth. What kind of study habits and so forth do you have? How are you able to write so many books and articles and sermons and so forth? How do you lay that out?
Well, I don't know. I think different people have different personalities and interests, you know, and the kinds of things. But the academic side of things has always appealed to me. Now, I got sidetracked by going into administration at the college.
Yeah.
I became the registrar and then later on the academic dean. And so I spent a good bit of my energies on administration. I think if I had my life to live over again, I would deliberately avoid that so that I could stay with the teaching and then with the kind of things you can do as a teacher. As a teacher, you have to study, you have to read, you have to prepare. So there is that developing of academic interest that goes on anyway. But that sort of thing has always appealed to me, so that even when my life was dominated by administration, I would do some things of that sort in the evenings or on weekends, that sort of thing like that. That sort of thing is not hard for me. You probably aren't interested in recording the fact that I've always been a reader and read a wide range of stuff. A lot of it is sorry stuff. Fiction. I've always read a lot of fiction. Science fiction, westerns, mysteries, Sherlock Holmes, you know, all kind of stuff. I enjoy all of that. Louis L'Amour is one of my favorite writers. The reason being is he's a pretty good writer. You know, it's nothing literary about it. It's just entertainment is all it is. But he's clean. And so you can enjoy reading him. Well, anyway, always in the back of his books, he's got a little thing about himself. And one of the things he says about himself is that he could sit in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard with his typewriter and write, and nothing going on around would bother him. And I'm that way. In other words, as far as concentration is concerned, my wife will tell you, if I'm reading or whatever like that, she can talk to me and I don't have the slightest idea what she's saying, you know, if I don't just make a deliberate effort to pay attention. So to get engrossed in some academic pursuit, write about this or that or the other, read about that and write about that and so on, that's the kind of thing I just enjoy doing.
So you're naturally always reading in a lot of things that you would think people wouldn't really be interested in, but you're reading. And then
I've always been a heavy reader.
And so you're probably up early reading and so forth.
No, I don't get up early.
Really?
I'm not a morning person. No, I can sit up late. There are lots of times in my life when, if I had my particular way, I could stay up all night and read and study, and then go to bed maybe daylight or shortly before daylight and sleep till noon. Get up and eat lunch and go at it. So when I would be working, continuing on my graduate program after I was back teaching at the college, then I would go down to Bob Jones for a summer session, or on one occasion for a whole semester, and that's the way I would live during that period of time, especially if I didn't have to meet classes. I would read and write and do whatever, do my studies at night, and sleep in the morning part of the day, and then go back to it in the afternoon.
You do pretty similarly now?
No, I don't do that now. No. The way my life is now in retirement, I'm just as busy as I ever was. I may be in some ways even busier, I don't know. But the difference is when you're retired, you can spend your time as you decide to spend it, as you think you ought to, rather than what somebody else thinks you ought to be doing. And that makes all the difference in the world. So what I do now is I get up about 7:30, something like that, and do various things that need to be done in the first part of the day. And so I'll be ready to start work around 10 o'clock or 11 maybe sometimes, and whatever. And then I'll get to my computer. I do basically all my work on my computer. I don't use a computer like a lot of people do. I don't surf the web. I don't do social networking sites. I use word processing and whatever other research maybe. But anyway, whatever I need to do for whatever I'm working on. And so I'll work there until mid-afternoon, maybe take a break, and I work on until 8, 9 o'clock at night, that sort of thing. So my study habits or my scheduling time isn't really what I would recommend to everybody. And a lot of people wouldn't be interested in doing it the way I do it. But anyway, that's the way that works best for me.
Works for you. And you exercise too, though.
Yeah. Somewhere along about the time I retired from the college, well, I know I was still at the college. Even after I retired officially, I continued to teach part-time for a couple of years. And that put me to my late 60s. I don't remember right now exactly how old, but even before I left the college, I started walking. I had a little bit of heart problems. So I decided I needed to do something. So along about 65, maybe a year or two before or whatever, I started walking every day. And from then until now, I walk 2 miles each day. These days I do it 6 days a week. At that time I would do it only about 4 days a week, or sometimes 3, sometimes 5, but anyway. But these days I walk 2 miles 6 days a week. I do that as part of what I do in the morning before I start doing serious work. And then fairly recently, I have had so much trouble with my legs, trouble getting up and down, getting up out of a chair, getting up and down stairs, that sort of thing like that. And talked to my doctor about it. He suggested I go to the Y, and perhaps they could give me some exercises to strengthen my legs. So I've started going to the Y almost every day during the week, and working some things on my legs. I'm still doing my walking, so I don't do that at the Y. I'd rather walk on the sidewalk than walk on a treadmill. But I do some use some of those machines, the leg press, that sort of thing like that, and some exercises that the lady at the Y has given me to do to work on my legs, and I do think they are improving some.
That's good.